All right, let's talk about the fact that a lot of the big decisions in your household revolve around your kids. It's a no-brainer, right? They're the most important things in your lives. And so you and your spouse are trying to figure out, do they go back to school? Is it safe for them to go back to school? Should we keep them at home? What do we do? Is online learning the best thing? But they're not really liking that. They're more social. Should we send them back to school? Is it worth the risk? These are questions that I'm sure you've batted back and forth between each other. And you've come to probably by now the determination of whether they're going back to school or whether they're staying at home for some online learning this year. But could be a lot more stressful when you're talking to a divorce partner about the fate of what your kids are going to do, especially when you cannot agree. I'm going to just bring to the topic here a ruling. It's a precedent-setting case that just went to court, and it was a divorced couple. She wanted her son to go back to school because she said, he has a hard time learning on the online environment. And he doesn't have any medical conditions. I don't have any medical conditions that would make us high risk for COVID-19. Dad says, I get it. He doesn't like the online learning. It's difficult for him socially, but the health risks attached to sending him back to school are significant. So I don't want him going back to school. So they could not reach a decision. So they brought it to court. And in a precedent setting case, an Ontario Superior Court judge has ruled that the 9-year-old boy, he's going back to class despite his father's concerns about COVID-19. The judge is also suggesting the parents that are estranged try and figure out a way to settle issues without going to court. Alyssa Bach is an associate lawyer at Shulman Partners. She joins the show. Welcome to the program. Good to have you on.
Thank you, Kelly. It's great to be here.
So this is a precedent-setting case, and it doesn't necessarily rule in favor of one parent or the other, but it does sound like that. It's more a ruling in favor of the government, isn't it?
Yeah, Kelly, in reading the decision, that's definitely the precedent that's being set, that the courts aren't here to question the decision of the government to reopen schools unless there's evidence that it's in the child's best interest not to return based on their particular circumstances.
Right. So each case, they're saying each case would be judged based on the risk level. Like if there was this may have gone a different way, this ruling, if there was somebody in the house that was immunocompromised, or maybe the kid could have been more susceptible to catching COVID, or maybe a grandparent lives with them, correct?
Correct. It's something that whenever you're looking at a family, you're looking at their particular circumstances. And when you're looking at the risk of COVID-19 and exposure and returning to school, you're balancing the factors on the benefits of going back to school and any increased risk for the household. And is that going to be to a level where the return to school is no longer in the child's best interest?
Alyssa, you're in family law. Have you and your associates at Shulman Partners, have you noticed an uptick of clients and people calling in saying, because of this pandemic, my ex and I are at odds?
Yeah, our firm is definitely noticing a growing number of cases dealing with parents who can't agree on these decisions as it's relating to going back to school and parenting time. And the emphasis needs to be made that it needs to be what's in the child's best interest, not what's in the parent's best interest, and recognizing that even if the parents aren't seeing eye to eye, having those conversations and really working together to get a decision made that doesn't bring you into the court system.
What other issues are you hearing divorced parents are dealing with at this time?
During the COVID pandemic, one of the biggest things that came up was the parenting schedule itself and whether or not there was going to be an impact to the time with the child because of this increased risk. You saw a lot of parents trying to assess what they were doing versus what the other parent was doing, and is transferring between homes going to be something that is going to increase the risk and that it should or should not impact the parenting schedule.
The justice that ruled in this case said, unfortunately, for some separated and divorced parents, this is another battleground. It's one more arena where their child may become a prisoner of war. We don't want that to happen. I'm sure that, estranged couples don't want that to happen. Most good people, that it didn't work out between them, don't want to put their kid in the middle. They are saying if you can find another way, there are other ways to settle issues without going to court. What are those ways to settle your differences between your ex?
You definitely want to look at where the conversation can start. If you can't have that conversation with your spouse directly, look at involving a trusted third party. Is it a family friend who can help negotiate that arrangement? Is it that you get professionals involved, whether it's lawyers to have conversations, or is it a mediator? Is it a parenting coordinator? Just other professionals that can assist with making the decisions without sending it into court.
And the court has a serious backlog because of the pandemic. How big is the backlog?
Right now, I know that our firm's cases in particular, we're looking at months before getting a regular court date. Now, the court does have resources in place for urgent issues, and that's where you see these school-related issues getting put into the courts, but it's just furthering the backlog for all of the other cases that do need to be dealt with.
Right, and that's why this is a precedent-setting case. Hopefully, this judge is hoping that lawyers and people will look to this ruling and say, okay, well, this has been the deciding, the decision in a case like this. Let's go back to the drawing board and see if we're really at risk or if we can try and find a way around this.
Exactly. It's going to be a very important decision because it is setting that precedent, something that parents can look to, something that lawyers can look to and say, this is how the court has addressed it. Can we think of creative solutions, taking into consideration what we've been told so that we don't have to end up in court?
Alyssa Bach, I want to thank you for your time today. It's been really informative.
Thank you, Kelly. It's been great.
Have a great day. Alyssa Bach is associate lawyer at Shulman and Partners, and she specializes in family law. Talking about this precedent-setting case, a judge said, "Nope, 9-year-old son has to go back to the classroom despite his father's concerns about COVID-19." Mom gets the win on this one, and it's not really, just because mom had a better argument. It's because the government has deemed it safe, and so because of that, the court is going along with what the government says.